Hello, here I am expressing myself again. It's been quite a enlightening weekend for me. Um, but I've made a self-discovery, so I guess this is more of a diary, journal entry, if you will. But um, I like to share and I like to help other people as I learn myself. But I kind of have I do have an epiphany regarding my relationship with my dad and how I see um, this triggered in my relationship with my boyfriend. So, or my children, or even me raising my children. But, I've always been open with them, but there were times where I would project a lot to my kids when they were little. I would yell and scream, especially, actually, probably all three of them. They would shut down and kind of retract and not speak up, or I wouldn't allow them to. And this is something as I was doing my video yesterday, and the more I think about it today, it's kind of like, wow, this is what's going on. But as a little girl, my dad would raise his voice and yell and scream and act irate. Of course, he was probably hurt and he was projecting onto me. So that's the part where I can understand where that comes from. I have empathy. I always look at everything in the mirror, if that makes sense. Like, I always look at all sides of it. I'm just that type of person. But anyway, the hard part about this is that my dad, I love him. I try to spend time with him, but we're stuck. Our relationship is stuck. And what I mean by that is he hasn't taken accountability for things that he's done. He hasn't, apologized or sat down with me and had a heart to heart. Even since then, since I was a little girl, and I gone through the healing and the forgiveness and all of that in my adult life. But even recently, with my ex-husband, he would vilify me, and my ex-husband ended up being abusive. So it's like it kind of caused all of that to resurface. And to this day, he still hasn't taken accountability. Now, I can either allow that to block my personal healing, but in doing so, it blocks the healing of my children who have father wounds, and any relationships they could be in, any children they may have. You see how the cycle continues? So this is something I know I have to do, with or without my dad's accountability, is I'm going to have to be able to stand up for myself to him. Or still even to this day, find myself stuttering when I try to express my needs to him or express something that's bothering me, because that little girl is afraid that he's going to lash out and he's going to yell and get angry. Okay? So, and it sounds so simple. I'm 45 years old. But when that happens, when I feel like he's going to get angry if he's being challenged, or if he's going to get angry if he thinks that I'm still hurt over something, and it's going to cause me to shut down, because it always has. I've never been able to vocalize myself to him. So I know now, in order to heal that father wound, with or without the accountability on his part, that I'm going to have to face him. And I'm going to have to make him listen to me in order to get past that. Perhaps he doesn't know that I'm hurting from this. but still, that's something that, in order for me and my kids and their kids heal from this generational trauma, I'm going to have to heal it within myself. So anyway, healing the father wound, it can be difficult, but my dad's not getting any younger, and it's something I know I can't I would be devastated if something were to happen and I wasn't able to make amends with him about that. As far as my mother wound, that's already, my mom has taken accountability, and I love her to death. Everything's fine with us. And parents, I'm going to say this like I always say it. If you have adult children, fuck your ego, period. Like, if you have adult children and your ego is so big you can't fucking make amends with your kids, fuck that. And that's how I feel. Grow the fuck up. Because you know what? You may not have that chance. And I'm going to say this with a broken heart, that my kids don't get that chance. Their father passed away. So they don't get to make that amends with their dad. It's heartbreaking. But if your dad's still alive, get over it. Talk to him. I don't mean get over it. This is easier said than done, but talk to him. Try to make amends. Do your part to make amends with him. Same with moms. It's hard to establish that relationship if they don't take accountability. However, you should still be able to stand up for yourself. And if they still shut you down, even after that, and fail to take accountability, well, you've done what you can do. And that's all you can do. You know in your heart that you've found the forgiveness, and you tried with all your heart to move past that. But if you don't get through that and move past that by talking about it, by trying to make amends with them, then it's going to resurface everywhere you look, in your kids, in your relationships. It's going to resurface. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's a father wound, shutting down, and that's where it all began. So, and I see how it's been a pattern with my children and in my relationships too. So anyway, just thought I'd share my heart and kind of express my epiphany, if you will, that I've had this weekend. And I hope if my children listen to this that I didn't hurt them in any way, but they know how I feel. They know I'm expressive with things that I'm passionate about. So that's me. That's what I'm working on. Father wound. I hope you guys have a good night.